So she puts me in the box and puts the lid on top for me to go in there privately.
What's in the box? My pissing child. Could you give us 5?
Could you give us? You can look at Donkey Kong afterwards, okay?
So I piss in the box, in the bottle, in the box, and I
Right.
finish it off, and I screw the lid up, and then she, I'm like,
Here it is. Oh, you closed the lid. She closed the lid on
she put
top.
the lid on top to give me privacy.
That's hilarious.
Because she's a great mother.
Just standing there, pissing in the dark.
I don't want to be Beppa. GMat.
Is there anything for dessert or something?
Oh, Mario!
Oh my God!
Hometown Spider-Man.
Yay. I need help with doing a push-up.
This is still going?
Yep.
I didn't do my homework.
Beck, am I in the center of the frame?
If you want to maybe stick that way.
In the center of the frame.
Oh, tune.
Is that good?
Do it again.
Just don't go too far
I'm in
that
the
way.
center of the.
Once I'm positioned, don't really
in the
move.
center of the.
In the center of the frame. I go walking down the street.
In the center of the.
Wait.
In the center of the frame.
In the center of.
Woo, GMat.
Yeah.
Hello! And welcome to episode 174 of the GMat podcast. Hello. It's GMat here. Last week on episode 173, I made an error. An error that needs to be rectified.
Oh, no.
Juice from the Discord submitted an intro, which in my defense was just audio from my stream, but nonetheless, I made a mistake. It's hard. Whilst trimming down this long-ass intro of me making the occasional noise whilst choking on a sour lolly on stream, I forgot the source of the intro. Sorry, Juice.
no.
Sorry, Juice. Juice. And during episode 173, whether from muscle memory or just plain ignorance, I did not credit Juice for that intro. I did credit myself. This is a dark day in podcast history.
What accent is that?
No
When
idea.
a man puts forth an intro and has his credits, nay, valor stolen. Well, that is a day I never thought I would be a part of. Yet here I am,
South African Irish?
the instigator and perpetrator. I'd like to issue a formal apology to Juice and his family
Fuck on, make on.
and anyone else who I have inadvertently hurt or broken with this act of unspeakable foolishness. We will rise from this mistake. We will improve. Thank you. And good night.
Good night.
Today's episode of the GMat podcast is brought to you by our merch, which is available at teespring.com/stores/the real GMat. Go pick up some merch. There's some great hoodies there. That intro is brought to you by me. Last week was brought to you by Linky. I apologize. Juice is
Oh
brought to you
my
by Juice.
God.
I'm
The
so
whole
bananas.
thing was about it was Juice.
Juice. Well, his name used to be Linky. If you want to submit an intro to the podcast, please
get
send it to contact@therealgman.tv or submit it in the Discord or send it to me in the mail. You could write a letter and attach a USB and
That
put
would
it in
be
there. That one.
odd.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, cut the music! Cut the music. Thank you. My name is Matt. GMat. I'm the host of the GMat podcast. I'm joined, like every week. Let's go in a different order here. Across from me, Ben J.
Thank you so much.
Right next to me, Aidan Jonathan.
Hi.
And producing and holding the thing together, it's Becky J.
Thanks so much.
On the board. How's everyone feeling today?
I feel good.
Full of bread. Well, not me. But
Oh,
everybody
yes,
else
we
is.
need to give credit where credit's due. Aidan brought bread. He brought pitta. And
Last
it
week,
was...
I was put on the spot. I was told that I had been promising with empty threats. That doesn't make any sense. and today, I
I
got
swear
up.
to God, I'll bring fucking pitta.
Should we show it? Should I go get it? Is it worth?
I mean, there's only two bits
It looks
left
like bread.
now.
Have you seen bread?
I'll put a picture up on the screen.
I've got a
now.
picture. I sent you that picture of the full.
Oh, yeah, I'll put that
use
up. I'll put that up.
So I made it. I got up early this morning. I was a baker. I was covered in flour at about 9 o'clock. It was all going. I was in my element. I loved it,
Time to get up.
and it was delicious. I was working on my stuff at 9 o'clock.
Wow, it's like a real baker.
Like a baker.
No, like a guy that needed to hit a 3:30 deadline. That's what I was working on.
Makes sense.
I did nothing else today.
It was still warm.
Yes,
got
because
here.
I timed it perfectly.
Well done.
Actually, probably could have cooked it a little later.
There was a
That would've been
guy
hot.
I went to school with who was an apprentice baker while he was at school.
Jesus.
And I remember him leaving school, like school finished at 3:30, and he's like, I'm going home to sleep. And I'm like, what? Because he would be getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to go
Yeah.
do his baking shift at Billy's Bakehouse.
So like what, 3 till 7?
Something like that. Yeah, he made it to school, but like when he came to school, he'd already been awake for an entire day,
That
an
is
entire shift.
Unreal.
Yeah, he loved it though. He fucking, I didn't, it was one of, you know when
Is he
there's-
a baker now?
yeah.
Oh.
You know those people who do things like,
From young and they just love it.
well, like from your perspective, you think I wouldn't want to do that. Like,
Obviously,
like I think
yeah.
of like a, I don't know, someone who's a manager at McDonald's. I think
Yeah.
personally, I don't want to do
No,
that
I don't
job.
wanna ever be there.
I feel like that would drive me crazy. But then you meet someone who does something, and I feel the same way. I wouldn't want to be a baker, but he's like, baking is my life. I love baking. Everything I do, I
That
love
is so
bread.
exciting. I feel excited for him.
I
that
like
he's
people
found his
who
calling.
like doing what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You don't meet many.
No,
You don't meet many, but you do meet some.
Just to touch on what we were talking about before, credit where it's due.
it was delicious.
All it
was-
took was 6 months of empty promises, 2 weeks of getting roasted by the chat and us, and lo and behold, Peter.
I'll never do it again.
Oh, what pies next week?
Pies next week.
Thank you.
And then
And
I
then,
won't do it
then
again.
the slate is clean.
And
the slate
then
is clean.
after that, as long as I
I was
Cashing all
all
promises.
set for the pies, and then we went into lockdown.
Uh-huh.
I went and got proper little pie dudes, and I even got the beads to you know how you gotta like thingy bob your pie crust.
I've never made pie.
Well, you make a short crust for the bottom, and you've got to cook it before you put any meat stuff, any filling inside. Otherwise it won't cook properly. So you have to blind bake it by putting it in the thing and just covering it with these rocks, I guess. That gets super hot and that cooks the short crust properly. Then you take them out, then you put your filling in, and then you put your puff pastry on top.
So you just lay it out, then you put short crust in oven.
Yeah, put short crust in oven. Absolutely. So what flavour pie would you like? I'm only making one flavour.
I mean, can I just get like, wait, what flavors of meat pie?
Well, do you want just meat pie, or
I'd
do you
love
want
just
like
a meat
steak
pie.
and mushroom or steak and
Oh, well,
something?
hold on. You're
That's
right.
what I'm asking.
I forget how good pies are.
So you guys are pies. I'm so nervous about the pies though, because you guys are pie connoisseurs, and I'm a
have-
novice pieman.
Craft single and tomato sauce flavor, please.
Get away from me.
So I wouldn't.
Fine,
I just like
mayonnaise.
pies.
Do you just want like a meat pie?
Even a bad pie I like. Like I go,
Right.
that was a bad pie,
Last
but
time
it's
I
still
made
a
them,
pie.
I found a recipe online that had a little bit too much red wine in it, and it gave me heartburn.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to use that again.
Okay.
But like, do you want just like
Steak and mushroom is what I would say.
steak
I
and
love-
mushroom?
That's always my go-to.
Ben? Would you eat a steak and mushroom pie? I mean, it's a
white
free pie.
wine, thyme, and vinegar, please.
That's kind of what I did last time. It was a
Ben-
red wine situation.
Ben loves a chicken pie. I know that for sure.
Do you love a chicken pie?
I was with him once and I got a chicken pie.
Do you know you can make chicken pitta?
But I remember asking him, like,
absolutely
why'd
hate
you
it.
get a chicken pie? And you're like, I like chicken pies. And that was the end of the conversation. But from that, I took
You
Ben
like
likes chicken pies.
Well, it's because he told you point blank he
Yeah.
does. It's not.
You didn't
rocket
follow up with,
science.
do you like them more than other pies?
no, but I just said,
no, not all the same.
I just said Ben likes a chicken pie.
If I was going to buy a pie, I would never choose a chicken pie.
Ex-
Ever.
that's exactly what I
Even
was
if
thinking.
I had for that, well, maybe if I've had that week 6 pies and it's the 7th day, I might choose a chicken.
Well,
but
that's
I'd be
actually
choosing.
Funnily enough, that was the situation.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
You had 6 pies in a row, all meat. You didn't even spring for a vegetable.
No,
What about
chicken.
I would move off pie by that stage. I'd go to a pasty.
Pasty. Oh,
Pasty.
pasty.
Oh, I like a
worst.
pasty. I make a good pasty.
Would you like a small
Over.
triangle of chalk?
It's just puff pastry with vegetables.
Made disgusting.
Aidan does have strong opinions, and you know,
think
with
that's true.
with that theme, I would like to try a new segment. If you guys are willing to give it a go. Here we go.
Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck you. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Aidan versus Aidan.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Welcome to Aidan versus Aidan.
Who was saying that?
That was Auntie Donna. It was just a sketch.
I don't remember saying fuck off so much.
Because it's funny, as he was saying, I was like, yeah, I could see that. That seems like handling that
That's what I was
content.
saying. I don't remember it, but I must have.
So in this segment,
Yeah.
I'm just going to pitch something at you, Aidan.
Okay.
And you're going to just tell me how you feel about it. And feel free to chime in, anybody, if you have opinions. But in the spirit of Aidan vs Aidan, I'm going to give you the floor first. All right. So you are working. You're working a shift at JB.
At JB, huh? Okay.
And it's 5 minutes to closing. The store's empty. Let's say it's 4 minutes to closing. You're past that 5 minute mark.
Yeah.
And somebody comes to the front door.
Yeah.
And walks in, and you say, "Hey, we're just about to close." And he says, "Oh, I just got to grab just one thing."
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, gentleman?
With 4 minutes to go, fine. Totally fine. And I'll tell you why. Because at work the other day...
This segment's bombed.
No. The other day, there was somebody... I'll put it this way. At 4 minutes to go, I'm like, hey, you've got 4 minutes. What can I get you right now? And they're like, oh, I just need this cable. I'm like, fine, let's go get the cable. I'm still annoyed at you. Plan your life better. But let's go, and I'll get the cable. Here we go. Out, and you're in, right? You're gone in 3 seconds. Yeah. But the people that come at, 4:59 or 5:29... I really need a cable. It's like, sorry, dude. We've got 30 seconds. You can't get to the cable and to the register in time. If you're at the register, fine. But I don't think it should be you get into the shop and you have free reign. I'm not keeping the shop open for you. Do you know what I mean?
I absolutely know what you mean.
Yeah, it's not like
when I
Barley's.
used to work in retail.
Yeah.
We would shut bang on 5:30.
Yeah.
I'd have the doors closed at 10 past.
Yeah, I do shut the thing halfway. Because we got the roller door, shut the roller door halfway.
You fucking softie.
So it's like, listen to me. You have to bend over to get in this door, and most people won't.
Whoa, what are you doing with these customers?
No! More
You're
of
on
a
a PlayStation,
limbo.
boy. You gotta work for it.
They're going the other way. They're going the limbo.
Okay, part 2.
Yeah.
It's D&D night.
Mm-hmm.
It's
D&D night tonight.
Oh, that's exciting. You're
It
setting
is.
up, and you've drawn a map for D&D.
Okay.
And you want to put it on a screen so everybody can see it, and you go to set it up, and you plug the thing in, you go, oh fuck, this HDMI cable's broken.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, they're coming over in an hour.
What time is it?
It is 4:50, and you rush down, you drive as fast as you can to the nearest JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
You get there, like you said, let's say 4:58, and you know where the cable is. You know you can get in there.
Yeah.
And the person says to you, actually, sorry, we close at 5.
I'm going in, 100%. And here's why. I know where the cable is, and I know I can make it to the counter in time. I'm telling you, it's all about the counter. You have to get to the counter and pay. I've got Apple Pay, bada bing, bada boom. I can pay for my watch. I don't even need to take my mask off. I'll punch in a passcode. Here's the thing. Bang, let's go.
Unfortunately, the person has said you can't come
But then
into
I'd
the
ask
store.
for staff price to get the manager down. Sorry, it's a staff sale. I'd go in.
No,
And
but
I
like the person,
have gone
the
in.
person has said, sorry, you can't.
No way. You were with me one time when we did that. We went a long time ago to a JB Hi-Fi. I wasn't working there at the time. It was the JB Hi-Fi near, doesn't matter. And the guy closed the thing, and I was like, dude, it's like 4:58, and we just won a PlayStation game. Right? I'm going in there, I know exactly what I want. And you were like, it's right, it's close. And I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
I like how it makes you sound like the fucking idiot. The situation. Oh, it's all right. They shut the store because it's time for them to shut the store. We're past the shutting time.
Speaking of my impression makes you sound like an idiot, I went back
Clay.
and
It makes me sound like Clay.
No, it doesn't. I went back and
That's
watched.
what I say.
I went
Clay.
back and watched the podcast. Only my bits, obviously.
Oh, obviously.
No, I just wanted to hear the impression, and the impression was nowhere near as Clay as you make me sound like you sound.
I just say,
I wrote down in my notes, and I say, my impression was not that bad, by the way, in capitals, because it really wasn't
It's
that
put in
bad.
capitals. It means it mustn't have been that bad.
well, I apologize if that's the case.
Oh, that's okay. They've shut the store. We need to leave. We'll get a HDMI cab somewhere else.
Yeah, but no, in that.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that interaction. But I can see myself going like,
clearly, you're like, forget about it. And I was like, this is fucked. They're not closed. Legally, you should let us in.
was I working at the?
Going to the ombudsman.
Was I work?
I've had that thrown away.
Was I working at the reject shop at the time?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I feel like I
around
would have
there.
been like, if I was working, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and 100%.
Was I there at the time? Because as soon as
you-
I left that store, retail people became my
Done.
slaves again.
There
Fuck
are
100%.
trash.
They
I don't
didn't
give a
work
fuck
hard
about
enough.
anyone.
They don't deserve my pity.
Yeah, 100%. I see how I sound like a hypocrite, but I'm going in and you're not coming in, if that makes any sense.
I love it. That's almost exactly how I wanted it to go. I'm really glad. It's worked once. So now if it changes in the future, it's fine. It worked once. The bit worked once. We can move forward happily and
Yeah. I think
Proudly.
about now the escalator thing all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm constantly annoyed at me and everyone else now. I can't get on an escalator without you popping into my brain, which is very upsetting.
And then, so what? You think, oh,
But
how
yes,
fucking
okay, so the other day
dare
I was at work and I was going to get sushi and I was coming back and half an hour.
Sushi.
It's the only thing that I'll eat at the
It's very fussy.
No, because otherwise it's like KFC or a shitty sandwich, and I don't want KFC on my break because one, I will shit my pants, and two, I'll want to go to sleep. So sushi is just shit,
Colonel on a lie down.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
What's that man sleeping on the
The other
escalator?
night, Aidan and I were rehearsal for a show.
I was doing a whole bit.
And
I
he
was
was
doing my this
staring-
little chunk of my own bit.
I was sleepy as well, and I was staring at him. And then he said, I couldn't hear anything because I was thinking about Zinger Snacker
Yeah,
boxes.
I was doing a scene, right? And I was like, oh. And last night I kept beating myself up. I was like, this is not good enough. This is shit. And I turned to him out and I was like, God, that wasn't that garbage. And he was like, what? I was like, were you not paying? You were looking at me the whole time. It's like, I was thinking about the Colonel.
That's our entire
I
relationship.
was like, the Colonel who?
I'm
Colonel
2 days away
Mustard?
from cheat day. I'm going through.
Days away.
I'm going through what exactly every single day I've said to Beck, I've gone what?
T
3 more
minus.
days, 2 more days,
4
1
more
more
days
day.
to cheat
That's so
day.
good.
4 more days to cheat day.
That's
I know what
great.
I'm gonna get. I know what I'm gonna make.
What are you
and
getting? What are you making?
I'm gonna get up early
The one day of the week you get up
Yeah.
early is fucking cheat
because
day.
see, Ben put this thing on my head because we were talking about cheat days and
this
you
thing
were
in your
like,
head.
Ben,
why don't you?
I
done it.
incepted it.
You've done it, have you?
You were like,
Yeah.
why don't you do a cheat day? And I said, well, I'm thinking about doing that because it makes dieting
So much
sustainable.
easier.
Yeah, because you got a thing. And I was like, is that okay? Like a cheat meal or something like
I'm
that?
also his dietitian. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize.
And he's like, no, you can do a cheat day. Why don't you just put it into a day so that you know that day you can eat sort of whatever you want during the day, or try it in a fasting period of like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, so from that, what he meant was like,
Have
breakfast and
yeah.
then maybe something yummy for lunch and then a big
That's
dinner.
right, yeah.
And I'm like, every meal
Yeah.
needs to count.
Yeah, from 8 hours.
Every
I've got
hour on
8
the
hours
hour.
to eat as many calories as possible.
100%.
You
So I'm
fucking
going to
count
get,
his reps.
all I know is I'm going to get KFC for lunch because I want KFC.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have pasta for dinner because I really want I want like
I think I'll get KFC.
carbonara or something.
Imagine if you put this much planning into your exercise.
I'm going to do reps. I'm going to do weights. I'm going to do push-ups.
So I'm excited. So you
You
were
got
saying
20 minutes of Colonel.
You were saying
straight into an hour-long session of M&M's.
Well, I think I'm going to get Top Deck chocolate to have in the evening because I really,
Top Deck. You got to get breakaway, man. You got to try breakaway.
I've been really thinking about Top Deck a lot. I don't know what it is. It's just on my brain, and when I've got to follow that. I've got to follow that scent. I've got to go for it, or else I'm
bloodhound.
going to regret my cheat day, and I don't want to do that because I
God
regretted
forbid.
my last cheat day.
Will
Did
you
you
regret
really?
your last cheat day because of the consequences it has on you in the toilet? Or is it because you just didn't choose the right stuff?
Wasn't.
I thought you were happy with your cheat day last time.
I mean, it was a cheat day.
He could have packed it a little bit tighter, though.
What did you weren't happy with your burrito and your fries.
Exactly. See how much I talk about it. He knows exactly.
The fries were
I was
slightly overcooked.
happy with my burrito and my
Fries
fries.
weren't a different color. They were a different
They
color.
were different.
Ben.
They were burnt so bad they were a different color.
And what? Look at him. They were a
Imagine me
different color.
driving around the drive-thru
Like-
and going back and be like, I'm sorry.
These
Normally I wouldn't complain, but this, you don't understand how
This is
important this is to
eyebrows.
me.
This is the
It's
day.
The eyebrows are my
Yeah.
favorite. Like no, Ben, they were a different color. They're
Imagine that these fries are like your child's Christmas, but like that it's all their Christmases. That's what's sort of going on for me at the moment.
Yeah,
I
like-
don't like to complain, and normally I wouldn't, but
Sorry,
if this doesn't
it's
work
my
out,
cheat
it's over.
day. So you're gonna have to cook these fries better.
If you don't understand, it's going to be 15 minutes before
Was
my
it-
next garbage meal.
I would be on, and at cheat days, it would be like, hey, excuse me,
It was salsas, right?
yeah, and it'd be like the fries a bit, and they'd be like, sorry, we can't return. I'd be like, you fucking choose them. Like I'm on the
What was
edge.
wrong with the
I'm sorry,
burrito?
just take the fries, and put them back. Get me the new fries. Get me the fries. I'm doing
just-
this for you because
I'm
if I
just-
don't get the new fries, I can't be held accountable for what I
Close
might
my
do.
eyes, and when I open them, I want a new fries, the right color in front of me.
Also, they forgot the chipotle mayo, which is my favorite bit. I like that. That's.
So it's just the chips that ruined the whole day.
I mean, the burrito wasn't particularly good either, but like the chips and not having the dip was so
If these
bad.
chips aren't right, then what has this week been for?
And because that was my biggest.
Oh, now I've only got a Zinger Stacker box to look forward to. I mean, Jesus Christ!
This
That
is
was-
really going to ruin the tone
What
for my
did you
next
have
four
for
meals.
breakfast?
That was my
on your
biggest.
cheat
That was
day?
I was up late, so I didn't have breakfast.
Oh,
was-
so now you're gonna get up early so you can get.
Exactly. I think I might get Mackey's breakfast. I think I might.
So
get
this,
some-
can I just ask you? This is an expensive day of eating.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself.
Okay.
Look, they won't all be like this, but this one I'm really looking forward to because the last one was so
So
bad.
Mac is brekkie. So you look at So you're eating out every meal
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, except for pasta. I'm going to make pasta because I've been thinking about making pasta. I was walking through the pasta
From
aisle at the
scratch?
supermarket. No, just
Oh.
get
not
some
hard.
shit. I
Flour
know, but
and
I
egg?
don't. I'm not. I don't care. I just want to
So
eat some
good,
pasta
so
with some
good.
cheese. That's what I want. That's
I'm
what
not
I'm going to
making
do.
you pasta. I'm putting my foot down.
You couldn't.
Yes, Beck.
You son of a
What
bitch.
about that time?
Yes, look up, lady.
What about that time you ate the exact same meal 3 times in a row?
Yes.
What was that? Please tell
So,
me.
because I was looking for like a
Was this recently?
because it's been a busy week, so I've been trying to find a takeout option that is low calorie. So I was able to find at Grilled there's a burger and a small sweet potato fries that all ends up equaling about 950 calories or something, and I have 1,600 and something to spend across the whole day. So I like on those days when it's busy, I've missed breakfast. I'm like, I'm just gonna have this, and then I've got like a chicken sandwich or some soup or something for dinner. And then I did that one day, and I was so full, and I had like a small dinner, and I felt good. And the next 2 days in a row, I did the exact same thing. Got the burgers, and yeah.
I think you did it twice in one day, actually.
Did I?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were like, you had
Whoa.
it for lunch and then you came in like with your tail between your legs and you're like, Beck, I think I'm going to have to get that exact same thing again today.
Beck, shut up. But I was like, so I'm gonna go 200 over my calories today. But it was good. It's well worth it. Well fucking worth
Sounds
it.
it.
Yeah.
God, I want fast food.
Speaking of food,
Yes.
Aidan and I had a date the other night.
We did.
Well, the other day.
We did.
We planned to go to the pub and kick it at the pub. And we had possibly the worst. That whole day,
It was subpar.
it's hard for it to be. I had a great time hanging
I
out.
mean, I had a great time hanging out, but the venues.
Yeah.
You know,
I
we
still-
wanted
I
like
still had fun.
bowling was
Backpedaling
fun, but
going
like
on
you
here.
want strike, and the pub was good, but you know what I mean.
I still had
The
a great
company
time.
was fantastic.
And it was like it was such a
Sounds
weird
it.
day.
Shut up!
Where there's no like
Get the wedge out from between us.
there's so many weird things that happened that it's hard to tell like a linear story.
Yeah, it was
for
odd.
this, but just so like the meal, like I had the most dog shit steak I've ever eaten, and I haven't
terrible.
stopped shitting since the steak.
was
Every
bad.
meal I eat, I think I had like E. coli or something because every meal I eat turns straight into
It's
diarrhea.
definitely a colo.
Like something, you know, like so whatever fucking comes in bad meat. When I turned it to you, I was like, "Is that medium rare?" And you were like, "Fucking hell, that's
It was-
blue."
I was like, it's rare.
It was
Rare. I had some, didn't get E. coli, which is good.
You had a bite.
I had a sizable bite.
Oh, okay, sorry. I had
It was not. I didn't get E. coli. Does it say Matt didn't get E. coli?
lots of diarrhea. I got something, some buggy.
Maybe you
something.
got diarrhea.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know how most people see this is the thing with us. Most people don't do sloppy shit all the time. So when they get it, you're like, oh, I have diarrhea. I have diarrhea is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not something, it's diarrhea. I have diarrhea.
But diarrhea isn't
You have dysentery.
a disease. It's a symptom.
Yeah, but
Like,
if you go
get
to the doctor,
diarrhea
I've been to
from
the
it.
doctor, be like, when I was a kid, I've got diarrhea. And he's like, yeah, you probably just, I don't know, you got a stomach bug. You have diarrhea.
Yeah, well, some sort of stomach thing. That's what I'm getting at. I feel
Yeah,
like the
some
meat
sort of
gave it
stomach
to
thing.
me. Yeah, because it's been nonstop.
Right. It was terrible. It was terrible food. I had a terrible schnitzel. It was very, very bad.
There was a hobbly lady there.
I was unhappy with the whole thing. The beer was cold. That was good.
When he got there, I was ripped by the time he showed up.
Yeah, he was like, you're gonna have to drive me home.
I'm like, I haven't eaten anything, and I've had one beer. I haven't drank in however long, and I haven't eaten anything today. And I had one beer, and I was like, I'm fucked.
A schooner, by the way. It wasn't a pint or anything.
No,
a
it was
schooner. He was like,
weird.
you need to drive me.
and then we were facing like this giant television, but I was on the other
It
side
was
of the table,
so humongous.
and Aidan just kept changing color, and it was like distressing me.
Like
'Cause
the
the
horse in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. How dare you?
And like everyone, like it felt like I was giving a presentation because everybody in the room was facing me because I was facing the wrong way. And they're all looking at the television. I'm just trying to eat
you
my
know
shit
what?
steak.
There was a lot of old people there. We were the youngest by about 50 years.
Mm.
It was
Wow.
crazy.
It was an RSL. Something.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. It was just a pub, but like we should have chosen a different pub. In future.
I wanted to try it out because they're open till 5 o'clock in the morning every other day. And I was like, that'd be cool to be able to
Good for
just.
cheat day. You could really.
No,
wind
I
it
meant
up.
like to go have a drink, to be like just to go down there and be like we could be there all night if we wanted, like just a place that's open late for
Yeah.
drinking,
Yeah.
and they're close by. But it was bad. The lady, I went to the reception to order our food, and I said with volume, I was like, can we get a chicken schnitzel and a steak, medium rare? And she was like, what? You're going to need to pull your mask down. And she had a mask on, and I was like,
So annoying.
speaking into her fucking face with, I was like, what's the point of
He came back and he goes, I'm an actor. I was talking with, I was projecting, and she couldn't hear me.
By the way, it wasn't loud. The only thing you could hear was the dinging of the fucking pokies across the room.
Ooh,
The
pokies.
He sat halfway through. He's like, this steak shit. Then he looks up and he's, oh, look at the pokies. look how alluring the pokies are. And I was like, nothing about that is at all alluring at all. He's like, oh, look at the color. They're all colorful. I was like, nah.
That one's pirate themed.
Yeah, you're going to get out of here.
Do they really call to you?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
it just
He was facing the
smells
pokies.
and
He's
got the
looks
ding.
depressing.
They were full of old people.
Very sad people.
All of the old grannies in nappies.
But
It was
you
just
see
not
them, you're
good.
like my people.
Well, I don't want to be there
He's like, I'm not
at
them.
2:30 on a Sunday. I just am there at 2:30 on Sunday. I'm like, might as well chuck $20 into pokies. You know?
Right, they didn't go specific. You didn't go specifically for the pokies.
No, I went specifically for the company.
Then
and the
we
shit
went
steak.
bowling, and I slapped Matt for 6 slides, and then he ruined me for the last 4. Shit.
Yeah, bet
Who
him by
won?
like 40 points.
Him.
really? 40
Fucking
points?
kill me. He got a strike on the last
Points?
one.
Is that what it is? 40 points? 40
pins?
Pins, probably
Goals.
is the way they say it. 40 goals, I bet him.
Rubles.
Yeah, it was good. The kid, Aidan went to the bathroom and like, do you want a drink? Because I'm getting water. He's like, yeah, just give me like a Diet Coke or something. And I went up and they had Pepsi Max. And I said to the kid, can I get water and Pepsi Max? And he went to the fridge and sort of got a bit like panicky. And he's turning them around. He goes, sorry, we've only got no sugar. And he gave it to me. And I was like, what am I fucking... I'm like, Pepsi Max is no sugar. I'm like, they're all no sugar. He's like, sorry, Mr. Fat Fuck Fatty. Fuck.
Sorry.
I've got you. There's only no sugar in this one, you fatty.
Do you think Pepsi Max is the maximum amount of sugar?
Yeah.
There was one like that
Was
they
there?
used to serve at university.
Pepsi Ultra.
No, it was like in a can, and it was like double the Pepsi. Do you guys ever had that? It was the best Pepsi I've ever had in my life.
I think
I'm not joking. It was like a hard can. Like the can wasn't like shitty thin aluminium. It was like it had like a texture to it, and you had to really. It was like an iron can. It was amazing.
Wasn't it extra caffeine, not extra sugar?
I have no idea, but it was the best Pepsi I've ever had.
Really bloody good.
Probably more sugar.
Yeah, I imagine it was more sugar. It was real good.
Also, the lady when we got there, she was like, "Hello and welcome
Oh,
to
bowling.
Strike Bowl." or
Step
wherever we were.
right up.
Yeah,
we
I
were
was
like,
like, pull it back a
hell,
little bit. It's
stop.
Sunday. I just had a beer. Fucking
Stop it.
Ease up.
Matt was walking literally sideways.
And then we went shopping and we walked around.
We went shopping for 2 seconds, and we went into the JB Hi-Fi at this particular establishment, and of course, because I forgot what they stocked.
Did you give it a
And-
critique?
No, well, I did
Oh,
say
this
this one.
shouldn't be over-
This
yeah,
one.
this should be over
no,
there.
thi-
This
I
is
did say
ridiculous.
this looks like the most depressing JB Hi-Fi in the world because it was a Sunday and there were like 6 people in there, and then there was a salesperson that was like had to stop with his customer and was like in such unbelievable pain for his ankles. He was kind of like, I'm sorry, like
Worse than that, he was like he made like
It was-
agony faces.
it was so uncomfortable to
his
see.
ankles were swollen. It was blood clots for sure. That guy was like his
He
ankles
didn't
were
stop talking about
swollen.
blood clots. He's like, thank God I got the standing desk because I'm not going to get blood clots from sitting down or standing up. I'm doing both of them in absolute perfect harmony.
Sit in harmony. That's
I was like, you know what? You haven't been sitting or standing up for 30 years like that old fucking loser.
oh, it was good.
Doctor says that the only thing that can cure is heightening my commission levels. My KPIs are so low at the moment. I don't know. I'm probably not going to see the shift out.
She was so uncomfortable. She was just standing there like,
It's like, what do you want me to do? And he had her things as well. He was like,
Yeah.
he was doing a
That's
plastic.
Sony. That's Sony Bravia. Quick, buy it.
the OLED.
It's the only way.
The OLED. The OLED. Yeah, hundo.
He wouldn't go with me to Toy World either. He didn't want to. Wasn't interested in going into.
I
Toy
wanted to
World.
go to Games World, but there's no Games World.
There's
That's
too many
place.
worlds.
And he was like, we were walking towards it, and we weren't. It was. I thought we were doing a loop, and we're going towards it. And he took one step further than I was comfortable going towards Toy World, filled with small children on a Sunday. I was like, I'm not going to Toys World. He's like, oh, why not? I wanted to buy something dumb. And I'm like, no, I'm not fucking going to Toy World.
You were talking about Nerf guns and stuff. Before.
No, I
thought you-
noticed the Nerf gun. I said, did you ever have a Nerf gun? And then I bought 2 or 3 Nerf guns, which is cool. Yeah, bang. You
Here's the thing. Games World is a bit shit
so shit, but I will always buy a board game because I really like them.
every time
I've
you
got
go
a-
in there.
Most of the times.
Like a conspiracy theorist.
Well,
and
I like the one at where I work. I'll
fucking
go up
book.
to the desk and be like, hey,
Catcher in the Rye. Yeah.
these are the ones that I've got. Give me a recommendation. And and they'll be like, "Here's one. It's $4."
Have you heard of Monopoly? This is sort of real estate game.
I do like Monopoly.
Okay. Risk.
I like long. I can go a long board game.
Trouble.
Trouble's good. At that JB Hi-Fi we went to, there was a whole wall of Monopolies.
There was a Rick
What?
and Morty one.
A whole wall of every brand of Monopoly that you could fucking
Can we stop saying Monopoly?
every brand of Monopoly that you could see. Like there was Rick and Morty and Sims. It was along the entire wall. It was like that's so many Monopolies. I don't need
JB's
that.
just got board games for Christmas, so there are heaps of different ones.
Do you guys have that?
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't have musical instruments anymore.
Gone.
I just I wrote something down where you said toy word because I remembered this is a story.
Oh
But
God, what have I done?
when I was a kid,
Gather around, everyone.
everyone listen. When I was a young boy, there's a place. I don't know if this was a across Australia thing. There was a place called Oakey's Toy World. Do you have that?
Nope.
No, it might have just been Australia. There was a big factory called Oakey's Toy World. There's a dog on the front. His name was Oakey. And you went in there and you go in Oakey's Toy World and it was a factory. So it was all these like just every toy you had, but I think they were like damaged and that sort of stuff. So that's why their parents would always take us to Oakey's Toy World.
Oh, your Barbie has 2 legs?
What the fuck?
And I remember going to Oakey's Toy World, and I would have been like 4 or 5, and I'm looking around, and I was getting so excited, and I was doing that dance, like pulling my pants, being like, and Mum's like, "You have to go to the bathroom, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah, dude." And there's no toilet at Oakey's Toy World,
Of course,
There is, it just doesn't flush.
it's just broken.
and I'm like, "Mum, I've really got to go." And she's like, "Oh, there's nothing we can do."
yeah.
There's nothing we could. There's
Like,
just simply
We
no
are
way.
at Oakey's Toy
Well,
World.
Oakey's
We will
Toy
be
World-
here for some time, Matthew.
There's
thing
no.
about-
Oakey doesn't give pass outs.
For
There's no
God's
stamps.
sake.
We're in, and that's it.
Do you need to piss, Matt? We're not going outside to the bushes. I swear to God, we're not going outside of the bushes.
The thing about Oakey's Toy World is it was a drive out of Shep, and it was like a factory in the middle of a plain. Like there was nothing else there. It was just
terrifying.
this weird.
It's a
Well,
Black
that's the
Mirror
thing.
episode.
But it was like it was go time, and so Mum.
Go to
Mum-
like piss go time
Yeah,
or Toy World go
She's
time?
like, "You go in this bottle," and I'm like, "We're in the bed everywhere. Like there's people around that sort of stuff."
Oh my God, you didn't even walk out of Oakey's
No.
Toy World?
So she picked me up.
Where'd you get the bottle? She just yoinked it off a Super Soaker.
She took it out of a handbag.
It was
It
didn't attach quite
You know,
well.
sometimes you have a water bottle in your hand, you finish
Matt,
drinking it, and you carry it around.
I've only got
Yeah.
your brother's piss bottles. You're gonna have to go on one of theirs.
I think that was probably her thought. She was like, "Oh, here you go." Like that's how our brain works.
Drink the rest of the milk out of it.
She picks
and
me
then
up.
Fill it up.
She picks me. Oh fucking hell! And puts me in this giant box that's as tall as I am. That obviously had some toys in it.
Right.
'Cause
Oakey's
it was
piss
just-
box.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Oakey's piss box. Fuck you.
That's the name of the podcast, baby.
And so she puts me in the box and puts the lid on top for me to go in there privately.
What's in the box? My pissing child. Could you give us 5?
Could you give us? You can look at Donkey Kong afterwards, okay?
So I piss in the box, in the bottle, in the box, and I
Right.
finish it off, and I screw the lid up, and then she, I'm like,
Here it is. Oh, you closed the lid. She closed the lid on
she put
top.
the lid on top to give me
Oh,
privacy.
that's
Because she's a great
Just
mother.
standing there, pissing in the dark.
And
That
so
is
she we do it, and then we go, and then it's a half an hour drive back to wherever we are, and I'm good. But
What was going through your head? Just standing in the box with the distant music of Oakey's.
Trying to figure out which Oakey's Toy World toy he wanted.
Where is the edge of the solo bottle? Just can't find
Was it dark?
yeah, and the story, I remember telling Mum that story, and then she told the story from her perspective, which was, she goes, and I picked you up, and I put you in the box, and I put the lid on so you have some privacy, and she stood there for a couple of seconds, and then, in her words, the bottom of the box just started leaking piss out of the bottom. So I remember pissing into the bottle, but in the dark, I was clearly just pissing against the wall of the...
I assume this is going in.
yeah.
My hands are getting warm. It must be.
And then she picked me up, and I was like, then it was a rush to get out, Before it was like, we have to get these presents for blah, blah, blah for their birthday. But then the second I pissed in a box, well, now it's time
You
to go,
pissed
Mum.
in a box on so many toys.
No, the box is empty. That was why she put me like it was just the empty box.
In my mind, you were just sort of half
there with a bunch of
on
stuffed
like
toys.
just a mound of toys.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Yes, you can look in a moment.
Good
That's
mum.
crazy.
It's, you do what you can do.
I've wet myself a couple of times as a child. I remember in jeans. I remember very specifically wetting myself in Maya, in jeans, at a particular shopping centre near where I grew up. And it was like, we were, you know, because I have two sisters, we were never at the cool, either the boys' clothes, never. We were at the ladies' clothes. My older sister and my mother were looking at clothes, and I'm like, oh, fucking hell.
Thought I'll show them.
No, it's just kind of like, I just remember pissing myself in like the pantyhose section. You know what I mean? Like they're walking through. I'm like pissed my pants. Like we have to go home now.
I know you guys can buy
For
stuff
God's
if you want.
sake.
This whole joint smells like piss to me.
What's the
Yeah, it
weirdest
was
place
great.
you've pissed yourself, Ben?
Probably Aidan's pants.
You pissed yourself in my pants?
Oh, yeah.
God damn.
I did a poop once in the woods, and I did it over a log, and I sat backwards on the log because I was like, I wanted to have that toilet position, so I like sat on the log and just put myself back a little bit, so my ass was hanging over the log, and I pooped, and a lizard crawled up into my cheeks, and I felt something get me, and then I just went stood up like that, and I caught the lizard in between my butt cheeks when I stood up.
What?
It ran.
This is a dream.
No, it ran
this was
into
a
my
dream.
crack. I stood up, I caught the lizard, and then I was like, something like it's moving, and then I pulled out and I like threw this little drop tail lizard out of my butt. And I've never told
It
anybody.
was a
about
tapeworm.
I love when you finish
Never.
stories like that. And I've never told anybody that.
It's just one of those things because that weekend was the same. Like, you guys remember the story where I went into the bathroom? I've told it on the podcast. I went into the bathroom and I
The
sat in
amount
the
of
bucket.
holes that you
and the-
shat in.
Why do
and
you shit in so
buckets
many? Yeah,
and
that's true.
and my
Why are you shit in the
riverbed.
wild
Because
so
we were
often?
we were camping,
camping.
and so and then I said,
Wasn't it just recently that he said he was the king of camping? I feel like if we were stranded on a
He's the
desert
king of
island,
shitting in holes.
I'm just gonna fall into shit booby traps.
but if you
Yeah.
need someone
and
to
if we're
catch a
hungry,
lizard,
I'll squat
Shit
down
be
and shit,
traps.
and food will crawl into my ass.
I've still got the lizard.
so that was that same camping trip. So I
That's not the same camping trip that lady fell into her own shit and slid
that
down.
was my mother. That was long,
Oh, that was your mother?
Yeah.
I thought it was your girlfriend's
She didn't
mother.
fall into shit. No. I think you're getting those two stories because my girlfriend's mum had diarrhea.
Yeah.
Didn't she
No, wait,
fall
didn't
down?
you shit on someone and then someone shat on you and locked you in a room or something?
No,
Oh.
again, more stories getting mixed up.
You've had a lot of other people shit
there
on
are,
you.
and that story had nothing to do with shit. Those are three different stories all combined into one.
There's just so many shit stories.
Yeah.
Well,
My
the
mum,
podcast's
my
like,
mum
no, you're
didn't.
missing up diarrhea and shit stories. There's a couple of different ones you're mixing together.
My mum didn't shit. She was on the
I-
edge of a hill with
Yes.
her sister, my auntie.
Right.
And they were drunk and
And they just fell.
squatted to piss
they
down
pissed.
the hill.
That's right.
And they go, ha ha. And then my mum rolls backwards, and all I saw was ass, until she
Right.
hits the bottom, and she's going, I fell. You know how how it goes.
You should tell us after we've seen you fucking fall down the hill.
How many people can say that they've like just seen their mum's ass flash like 3 times in 1 second, like
My mum probably a lot.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
No.
No, but you saying that about your own mum,
No,
and then I saw mum's ass a bunch,
Yeah.
and then the hill.
I don't know. It's
Crazy. It's
bonding
crazy.
experience.
You remember
Well, yeah.
last week where you asked us if we would give up sleep?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that yesterday because I was sitting outside
Mhm.
and I was in the sun, and I thought I would give up sleep if I had to like recharge in the moon or in the sun. Do you know what I mean?
Like a crystal on a windowsill.
How long
Like
do you
a
have to
crystal-
recharge?
Like for 20 minutes.
Okay. Oh, that's okay.
Because it's like, all right, and the problem is then you can choose. I think you can like adapt. It could be the sun, it could be the moon. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
how long does your battery last?
The rest of the time. What do
Okay,
you
so you
mean?
get a whole day, and then you have to recharge for 20
You get
minutes.
like 23 hours and 15 minutes a day of not having to rest.
Okay.
And you've got 15 minutes or 20 minutes to recharge in the sun. Don't you think, like, kind of like Superman a bit?
Do you have to lie, or can you just go for a walk
you
in
can,
the sun?
or
if you're driving, are you
think
recharging
No,
'cause you're
no,
armed?
you have to bask.
Okay.
You have to be basking in the moonlight or in the
Tesla.
sun,
What?
like a Tesla.
Yeah, you got to sit there. You can't
Oh.
be doing stuff.
I didn't hear he said Tesla. Yeah,
You got to
okay.
bask. Because I was basking. I don't often bask in the sun.
I think people should do more basking and more frolicking. I think we would all be happier if we did.
I
those
was
two
so
things.
happy basking. But I was making lunch yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I went shopping and I found, you ever heard of Chicken Maryland? I don't know why it's called Chicken Maryland. It's just a chicken leg, but it's got the thigh attached, so it's the whole. Right,
Okay,
and they
yeah.
sell that. It's called Chicken Maryland.
People
for some
do that
reason.
a lot with chicken. They do some minor change to regular old chicken, like chicken Kiev. Just like
Yeah.
we'll put garlic in it and crumb it. It's
That's
like,
right.
Why are you naming it after a city? Because
Yeah.
you put shit on the
That's
outside.
right, 100%. 100%. Like Steak Diane. Don't know what that is, but Diane made it, obviously. But anyway, I got
From the
Chicken
city of
Maryland.
Diane. That's what they do. Like Maryland is the place.
Right, where the first
Kiev
butcher
is the
thought.
city.
Right.
Steak Diane is from Diane.
I have a theory about that, which is that everything with a name like that is just old food no one eats anymore. Cherries Jubilee.
Yes.
Lobster Thermidor.
Yes.
Weird things we like. It doesn't even sound like food anymore.
Yeah. A
Thermidor.
peach cobbler.
I've looked it up.
Yeah.
Chicken
Look up,
Maryland.
lady.
In Australia, the term chicken Maryland simply refers to a butcher's cut for a whole leg consisting of the thigh and drumstick.
That's
so it doesn't
exactly
even,
it.
not
Don't
even
even tell
about
you
what's
why.
on it.
It's
Yeah.
not even about Maryland.
Can you look up, lady? Is there any more research you can do to be why it's called a...
What's the etymology of it, Beck?
Why
Look
is
up,
it
lady.
called That.
But yeah, so I bought that and I had it in the oven. And do you know what? I put it in the oven and I also put potatoes in with it at the same time, which was a rookie maneuver because I got them out and the potatoes were super raw and the chicken was perfectly cooked because it's only a thigh. Because if it was a whole chicken, it would take time, but it was only just a leg. So I was sitting there annoyed that I hadn't... I was waiting for it to cook and I was basking in the sun and I took some moment to bask in the sun. And then I ate it and I was thoroughly unimpressed with myself. So unimpressed that I got up
such
early
a nice
to make pizza.
bask,
and-
such a disappointing meal.
And I ate the meal in the sun, and by that stage, I'd been basking in the sun, and it wasn't cold, it wasn't hot. It was like 21 degrees or so yesterday, but like directly in the sun, I was getting hot.
I believe it was 24 when I checked.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, so that will make
Fahrenheit.
sense why it was a little bit more hot. Because by the time I was eating the chicken, I was like annoyed and sweaty. I was annoyed at myself because the chicken was shit. And then I was eating the chicken, and do you ever get that fit? Like chicken legs are not good.
I don't like chicken legs.
Chicken thigh.
I'm gonna say it, I'm
every
brave enough.
day. Chicken legs are shit house because you know that bit. If you have the whole leg, picture a chicken Maryland. Everyone,
I've
right?
got it. I see it.
You're holding it by this bone, and you're holding it by like the drumstick bone, right? So thigh bone, drumstick bone. You eat this bit's the best bit, right? The bit like if you're going like that way, that little bit in here, the thigh, that's the best part. Oh, right, it's nice and juicy and tender. But if you're eating the curve bit, that's shit and all stringy.
You mean the drumstick is the good bit? Is that what you mean?
No, I mean the thigh is the good bit.
I think
Which
you're saying
bit's the
that. I think you're
drumstick?
saying the drumstick is the bad bit.
The drumstick's the bad bit. Yeah,
It's it is very like it's dark meat. It's
No.
a bit chewy.
The thigh is dark meat.
I think the room's literally split.
But
in
if you
half.
hold it, you feel like a medieval wench.
That's right, but they're small. If you had like a turkey leg, maybe, but like a chicken leg, shit.
Like a malnourished wench.
yes, like a malnourished wench.
if you go into like if you're getting a bachelor's handbag chook from Woolies and taking that leg off, it's shit. Just a little
shit.
bit.
It's always
That's the
you
only
know.
bit I like.
Do you know why? Because they're always a bit dry, and same with the breast. They're always a bit dry because to cook the thigh of a roast chicken, you've got to fucking thermo nuke the breast and the leg because they're on the outside.
You need a wet breast.
So they're always you need wet breast, which I've recently been able to cook as well. Wet breast. It involves pan and oven.
I love any food that comes with its own handle. That for me is an A+.
Such a big.
What's another option?
Oh my
What's
God.
another thing other than that?
That's the only one I can
Like
think
a
of.
candy apple.
Yeah. Well, that's not a naturally occurring handle, I guess.
That's a good point.
Turkey fucking blows.
Yeah, I fucking hate turkey.
I've never
turkey
had roast
is the
turkey.
shittest meat.
Shit.
And
So
whenever
dry.
and people, that's the reason people go, oh, it's Christmas, we'll cook up turkey. I'm like,
Don't
if it was
do
good,
that.
we'd cook it every other day. Cook pork, mum, and she does. Like, get that fucking turkey out of here. Also, they're just a shit animal in general. It's, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, gross.
You're like someone tried to make a chicken and fucked it up. Someone,
So Rick and Morty tried to clone a chicken.
yeah.
And someone sneezed at the same time, and that's what you killed me. They're gross.
Chickens.
I didn't realize until recently that I guess I did realize, but I hadn't thought about it. That everybody's Christmases are different.
You realized, but you didn't think about it. But you had noticed it.
What
You realized, but you hadn't thought about it. But you had noticed.
what I mean
But
to
you
say,
hadn't really considered.
what I mean to say, Ben,
Yes.
is that I guess I was aware of it, but didn't give a shit until it impacted me recently.
At the start of the podcast, I knew Ben was tired. Ben's had a big day and a big yesterday. So I was like, I'm going to have to like overcompensate a little bit and talk a lot. And I saw it for a second there. I was like, oh, he's fading. And he was just thinking about how much he hates turkey.
Turkey fucking blows.
So you realize
No,
Christmas.
Christmas is different for so many people, and my
Yeah.
Christmas. I don't know if we've talked about this before. I don't think so. That my Christmas is mostly seafood based. My Christmas like lunch
Yeah.
is like prawns and octopus and some fish and some oysters and things like that. And a lot of people have like the classic English. It's winter Christmas food, which is odd to me. There's a roast ham.
My mum will definitely get prawns. She loves prawns no matter what. But
Yeah.
then, winter food.
Really?
Roast, crackling.
Seems odd.
everything she can get.
There's not much roast being. It's like beans and light food because it's summer.
Like yours makes sense for where I just.
I mean, it does make sense, I guess, but
I still would like a roast more than I would like seafood. But I'm not a big fan
there's
of
a
seafood.
roast ham,
Yeah.
which is the only time I'll have. I love Christmas ham. I hate ham. Like, I'll have, 35 grams, 350 grams of the Virginian sliced ham, please. I hate that.
Yeah,
It's so gross.
that ham.
It's gross. It's always slimy. And especially now from Woolworths, don't know if you've noticed, they're giving you weird thin bags if you buy things from the deli. They're making
I
things
thought they were
slimy.
always on that.
Yeah, but it's different. They're different bags now, and they're slimier.
Think
Caught him
about
out.
different.
No, truly, they're different, and they're slimier.
And if you say otherwise, we'll kill you. Death.
No, you can say otherwise. I don't
Say
believe
otherwise.
you.
Say otherwise. See what happens.
Do it.
Do it. Say otherwise.
I'm
That's no problem.
giving you
No
permission.
problem.
No,
Go for
seriously. So anyway, that was Christmas.
That was yeah.
We're gonna get to wear Christmas. Do you have a Christmas jumper?
Yeah.
Do you have a Christmas jumper?
Oh, big time.
We're
We're gonna wear 'em
You
for the
don't have a
party.
Christmas
No,
jumper.
I always borrow yours.
Yeah, you have my Christmas jumper, which now
I
have.
had yours for a whole year, from Christmas till Christmas, and then I gave it back to you,
No,
and then I got it
you only
again.
get. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
It's in my drawer now. I have one drawer. It's my Christmas drawer.
Sick.
Wow, I've never heard you say that.
we're getting to the end of the podcast here.
Oh, yeah?
I want to share something with you guys.
Oh yeah.
But the unfortunate thing about this is it's bad. What
Oh
I'm sharing.
Wait, we ending on
Matt,
like
don't
a
do a
bummer?
bad share.
No, it's just like
Just
it's
done
a
a
thing.
bad
It's
share.
a thing that I heard. I was playing this horror game, and the whole point of the horror game is you listen to ghost stories as part of the plot. You listen to someone tell a ghost story, and I heard possibly what is the shittest ghost story I've ever heard in my life.
Are you going to tell us the ghost?
And I want to tell you guys, and it's not going to be a big fucking climactic ending where everyone laughs because it's a shit ghost story.
Okay.
But here we go. So
All right. Set the lighting correctly. Put the torch under you. See if you thought about it.
it's Japan. We're in Japan,
It's Japan.
and there's a lady who is her family, her entire family's sick. Her mum and her dad and her brother are all sick, and they're at the hospital.
Well, they got.
I
What's wrong?
feel like I've heard this before.
It's not a bit. This is the ghost story.
Maybe this sounds like the start to our fucking scary escape room.
Yeah.
And they all
What do they got?
are
What do they
dead.
got?
I don't know. They got
Hep C.
diarrhea. They got E. coli.
That's a symptom.
So she's going to the hospital to visit them over the course of a week. But there's been new nurses coming through, and so she doesn't recognize any of the nurses, from the first week to the second week. And this nurse, she's walking towards the family's room to visit them, and a nurse comes out of the room and she sees a nurse. She goes, "Oh, I don't recognize that lady." She goes and says to her family, "It's like, oh, new nurse," and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
This hospital's been closed for 40 years.
She's going, what are you talking about? No one was here. I was like, "Oh, I swear I saw someone." Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then there's an old lady in the same room as them who's also sick. And they have different beds and that sort of thing. And she was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I see things too." Gives everyone a piece of candy because she's weird and old.
This nurse is Japanese. This patient's Japanese, is she?
What?
You said Japanese?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry about it. I see things too.
And
Japanese Australian.
so she comes back the next day to visit them again.
Mm.
And she sees the same nurse come out of the room. She's walking towards her way. She goes, "That's that nurse that they said didn't fucking exist yesterday. They didn't see her." But she's got the old lady in there hand in hand. And she's like, "Oh, that's strange." And they walk off somewhere. And she goes in the room and she goes, that was that nurse who just went with the old lady. That's the one I was talking about yesterday that I saw. And they were like, "What are you talking about?" She, the old lady, walked out by herself.
Oh,
She's like, "What?"
She, the old lady, walked out by
Yeah,
herself.
the old lady. So
The old lady of
the
whom
old
you
lady.
speak. The other patient old lady from that bed there, that
She,
lady.
the old lady, walked out by herself.
The old lady, the singular of whom you speak, who whence came from this room, left of her own accord.
Upon
By
by
her singular.
herself, alone.
the girl, she goes, "Well, that's weird and that's odd. Something's off. I'm going to go and chase them down and try and work out what's going
and
on."
So you should, girl.
And so she's running towards, she sees them going towards the elevator and she's running. She's calling out to them, yelling at them, but they're not turning around or responding. And,
no.
so no one can hear her. And she does eventually catch them right as they get to the elevator. The old woman and the nurse get inside the elevator. And she goes in, she grabs the old woman in the hand and says, "Hey, are you okay? Because something's off." And the nurse presses a button and then disappears, fades away.
The nurse?
The nurse.
The nurse that wasn't
And
there?
no one can see. Presses a button and disappears.
Oh, my God.
And
Just
the old-
like, or she fade away, or
she
just
fade away.
like this, like-
fade away.
the smoke.
Exactly like that. And the old ladies can't remember what's going on. She's a bit.
call me?
She's the old lady. She the old lady.
From the bed.
Yeah.
From the bed next to
Who's now? in the
Doesn't really
elevator?
know what's going on. She's like, oh, I don't know. I was just walking. I'm sorry. And then
Yes.
she's like, okay. And then the
Japanese,
girl,
Australian.
the girl, the main protagonist of our piece, looks
Susie.
at the button that's been pressed, and it was B2, which she later finds out was the morgue. That's the whole story.
Oh.
What a shitty
Oh,
ending
the
goes
nurse
through.
is dead. And she was from the morgue.
I guess so.
Or it's the spirit of the morgue.
Or is it the death taking this old lady to the morgue? It's just shit.
Was there a particularly bright light in the elevator?
I don't know. I just heard this now.
The spirit of the morgue. I like it. If you start with, I'm going to tell you the story of the spirit of the morgue.
In the spirit of the morgue.
This is the
In the spirit of the morgue. Yeah, in the spirit of the morgue.
In the spirit of the morgue.
A dead lady in the morgue.
And walking to the morgue. And in the elevator. Press a button and disappear.
Hey, it's GMat here, and don't forget, if you enjoyed that episode of the GMat podcast and you want to hear more, we also have the podcast post show over at patreon.com/the GMat podcast. The post show is a shorter episode recorded directly after the main podcast where we wrap things up and talk about anything we didn't have time to talk about. $3 a month and cancel anytime. We are a community-supported podcast, so your support over there funds the show and makes it easier for us to keep doing what we love. If you want to support us, head over to patreon.com/the GMat podcast.